Welcome everybody. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to Sunday Masterclass. Take a moment or two, guys, and share. Let's go on the group chat and share. I'm on. Let's get our people plugged in and connected. We're going to get started shortly. How's everybody feeling today? While we wait on some more people to jump on, I want you to drop in the comments. What are you grateful for? How are you feeling today? Tonight is going to be good. I'm going to tell you that. Tonight is going to be good. How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling today? Peace. I love that. Grateful I had a day off. Okay. Drop in chat, guys. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? So make sure you guys go on the Telegram chat, share that I'm on. Make sure you take a moment or two and send this out to anybody on your team. We are going to get started shortly. We are going to get started shortly. Same for the day off. Okay. Continue, guys, to share what you're grateful for in the chat. I love that. A day off. Sometimes we need that moment, that time, that day to realign, to reset, to refocus. So I trust me, I get it. I see Shanae's like, yes, yes. I needed that. Yes. I love it. I love it. Trust me, I completely understand. And honestly, the conversation we're going to have tonight is going to be tied into doing what we need to do for ourselves and our goals. Grateful for another day to share with others the good news and my products. Yes. Enjoyable weekend with my family. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and continue to share, continue to invite, and we're going to get started. I'm going to start in about 30 seconds. I have some notes because I want to make sure I stay on track. I had some things that I was thinking about, and I said, let me put pen to paper. Let me get some notes together so that I can make sure that I stay aligned with what I would love to impart on you guys today. We're about to get started shortly. So at 8:04, we're just going to dive right in. 8:04, we're going to dive right in. So again, go in the Telegram chat for those of you that just jumped on and share that I'm on. And we are going to get started. I see a few more people jumping in. Okay, guys, I'm going to get this party started. So I want to first and foremost welcome everybody on here. I know there may be one or two or three or four people that are brand new, guys. My name is Laquail. I've been a part of Total Life Changes for 10 years. 10 years. So I've experienced every level of the business that you can experience, from the highest highs to the lowest lows. And so I get excited when I get a chance to share and impart the things that I've experienced. This is something I've never done before. This was my first time doing a network marketing business, being an entrepreneur overall. And so I'm excited for us to have a conversation tonight just about how we can move forward, because as I look at the time, like today is October 19th, and we're literally less than 90 days until a brand new year. And so, this time of the year, personally, I take it very seriously. I look at my life, I look at my goals, I look at my business, I look at what I desire. I'm 46 years young. I started this business when I was 35, about to turn 36. And so, the way that I look at life now and the way that I look at life then is totally different. So I'm in a whole nother space, and I want to make sure that we do the things that are aligned with our personal goals and the things that we desire to make this business work for us. So are we good with that? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? If you're tracking with me, drop a one in the chat. If you're tracking with what I'm saying, drop a one in the chat, because I know on Sundays, a lot of times we reset, we spiritually feed ourselves, we prep for the week, we get our families together, whether we got kids in school and just different things. Sunday's that special day where we really look at everything. We look at the big picture, we look at the small picture, we look at the previous week, and we want to make sure that we're in line with what we truly desire. And so the first thing I want to ask you guys, and like I said, I had some notes because I wanted to make sure I stayed on track for what I wanted. Because once I get excited, guys, I can talk. Okay. So I want to ask you guys, what frequency are you on tonight? One big, oh my God, people, it's Sunday fun day. People in my building are too lit. Okay. One being drained, 10 being unstoppable. If you could rate where you are right now, tonight, one being drained, 10 being unstoppable. I want you to put your number. I see 5, I see 7.5, I see 9. Okay. I see 5, 7, 7, 6, 9.99. Okay. 4, 5. Okay. I love that. I appreciate you guys being honest. I appreciate you guys being transparent because that's real. Where you are is specific to where you are. And what I love about these numbers is, guys, everybody's not going to be on the same page at the same time. So sometimes when we do these trainings, everybody's at a different level of where they are right now. There's some new people, there's some people that's been in the business for many years, there's people that are coming back. Like everybody is in a different space. Everybody is in a different space. So I love seeing these numbers. I love seeing these numbers. So what I want to talk about is the power of alignment, doing what matches your next level. Doing what matches your next level. So each of you dropped a number. That number, I believe, is going to be based on how you feel. That number is going to be based on where you're trying to go and where you are. So I believe whatever number you gave is going to be based on how you feel, what you want, and where you're trying to go. And so I want you to really think about, we are, like I said, less than 90 days into the new year. So when you think about how you want to show up in your life in January 1st, when you enter 2026 and you want to show up, what does that look like for you? So everyone that dropped their number, I want you to, and you don't have to be too, you don't have to do too in depth right now on the Zoom, but I want you, when I say that, what's the first thing you think about of where you want to be in your life January 1st, 2026? Drop that in the comments. Where is it that you see that you want to be January 1st, 2026? And I'm going to say this now. If you don't know, you want to get an idea, because everything you do between now and then is going to contribute to where you see yourself January 1st, 2026. Well, I'm going to see. I saw the numbers drop in the chat quick on where you was at right now, but I want you to dig a little deeper. I want you to really dig a little deeper. Okay, thank you, Audrey. I want to be in a rhythm of consistency. Okay. At my goal weight, recurring customers, automated systems. I love that. And I'm going to give you guys a minute or two because I really want you to be honest, and I really want you to push yourself to put something in that comment, because when you do that, now you're going to have another level of accountability of what you really are looking for in your life. Because we can get on these trainings, we can tap in every week, but if we don't really dig deep, if we don't really apply what we learn, if we don't really know what we want, we're just going to be going through the motions. I want my daughter's tuition sitting in my TLC back office. I love that. At least 10 customers on smart ships. Okay. More consistency in growing my TLC business, more confident and consistent, transformed off my products and in my new home. I love that. More time to do the work. Having full peace to where I can really execute to make 1,500 a week, as well as have, I love that, Miranda. That's very in depth. 5 new team members who are binary. Okay. And I want y'all to keep dropping those things. And I know some people may not be comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable, I want you to know what that is. I want you to end this evening before you go to bed tonight. I want you to really know without a shadow of a doubt, where do you want to be in your life January 1st? Because you have to know that. In order for you to take yourself, your family, and your life and business to the next level, you got to know what you want. Okay. So now that I've asked that question, the first thing I want to ask you is, what area of your life do you feel like you could do better? You need help on, you need clarity on, maybe you're not as comfortable with, maybe you're not as sure of. What is that area of your life that you know, based on what your goals are, what part of your life seems like, okay, I know if I figured this part out, I could get there. If I was more clear on this, I could take it to the next level. What is that thing for you? Okay, let me see. I'm going, okay, team building. Okay, hold on. Let me team building, putting my face out there. I see a lot of team building. Let me see. Getting out of my comfort zone more. Strong online presence. Team building. Okay. I have to become comfortable going live and talking, polishing my story. Goal weight drop 20 pounds and grow my business to 500 weekly, strengthen my retailing skills. Stronger online presence. Okay. These are good. Speaking more when I'm fully confident in what I'm driven to. Okay. I love that. So everybody that drops something, and this isn't even a part of my notes, but I already feel where I need to go. Everything that you just said is what you think is going to be the missing piece or what you need more clarity on or whatever it is for you to get to your next level. I want you to now say, what is it that, why do you think you're not there? Whether it's if you don't think you're in your comfort zone, if you're not building a team, if you're not clear on your, why do you think that is? So now you're taking what you said and now giving me the why you think you're not there. If you think you need more clarity, if you need to be better in that area, why do you think you're not better? Why do you think you're not there? And I want you to drop that in the comments. Figuring my schedule, my husband's schedule. We have three. I understand that for sure. Let's see. I'm making sure that I do not miss. Let's see. Okay. Balancing time. I don't have enough conversation. I don't show up like I should. I need to invest more time. Procrastination. Fear of stumbling over my words. This is good, y'all. This is good. Procrastinating and a little fear. I'm new and don't really understand how to run the business. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what you guys are saying and how I can address it because a lot of, even though we've all packaged it in different ways, the bottom line is pretty much the same from what I'm looking at. I went into, let me see. Okay, let me make sure. Let me get these last few. I went into the shadows for a long time, popping back out and just need to do it. Okay. The right personal development and timing. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to say is this: whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you desire. I'm seeing this last one. After losing my mom, it messed me up. Turn the lights a lot game. Okay. And I'm sorry for your loss. I lost my dad this year as well. So I definitely, I wouldn't have been able to say before 2025 what it feels like to lose a parent, but now I can say that. I want to be in a place where I can be confident sharing my business. So as I'm reading this, the one thing that I'm seeing, no matter what the different things that you guys are saying, because a lot of you guys are very specific and we're all in different areas in our life. The bottom line is your belief. The bottom line is your belief. If you want to be more confident in sharing your story, you're new and you want to jump it, you want to know what's happening, all of these things, you've experienced losses, you've experienced setbacks, and you want to get back on track because whatever happened in your life kind of put you off track. All of those things go back to your belief. And so I'm going to say this, when I started this business 10 years ago, this was new for me. So I couldn't say that I believed it was, I knew it was possible because I saw tangible, documented results. When you see like you've probably heard in the network marketing world, documentation beats conversation. When you see the documents that are there, you see that people have succeeded, you see that people have made X amount of dollars, you know it's possible because it's documented. But if your belief isn't there, it doesn't matter what you saw. You can believe someone graduated from college, but if you never go to school, you may not believe that for you. And so the first thing that I want you to work on in this next, what, 60, 70 days of 2025 is your belief. And if you don't necessarily have the belief right away in yourself or what's possible, borrow the belief of someone who's already had this success. See, when I started in 2015 to a company that I had never heard of, products I had never heard of, I knew nothing. And so when I saw different stories of people when I got started that had success, I had to borrow their belief of what they were able to do. Because I was working at Macy's selling fragrance. So in my mind, I didn't see 6 or 7 figures in business. My mom is the first person that I saw become successful in my life, and she was a 6 figure earner, but that didn't happen until after I joined TLC. So when I first started the business, there was no one that I personally knew that had success. So I didn't believe it because I had never seen it from someone that I knew personally. Of course, we see celebrities, artists, athletes do big things, but if we don't know them, we don't know them. So we just see it, but we don't know. So if you don't have the belief right now, you need to borrow the belief of someone that you relate to. And that could be someone in the business, that could be someone out of the business. You may see somebody online that's in a whole different industry, but you love their story. You saw their fight and you believe them. Tap into their belief, tap into their training, tap into their knowledge. Eric Thomas has been a mentor of mine way before I ever met him. And I had the honor and privilege to meet him on several occasions. But before I met him, he was my mentor and he didn't know it because he was speaking of things that I could relate to and believe in because nobody around me was speaking those things. So the first thing I'm going to say is you have to borrow somebody's belief if you don't have your own. Because whether it's you want to get more confident telling your story, I'm going to say this. Your story is your story. Your story doesn't have to sound like anybody else's story because it's not theirs, it's yours. I remember believing in 2015 that my story had to sound a certain way for people to relate to me, for people to see themselves in me or that they could do this too. And I realized nobody had my story. There was nobody that was selling fragrance at a department store like I was. There was nobody that had never done a business like this before. At the time when I started, I'm looking at the examples I had in 2015. The people that I saw that were successful were network marketers. They had already done network marketing. They had been with other companies in the past. They came to TLC, they got success, or they were entrepreneurs. They had other businesses, or maybe they had a destitute story. Maybe they were down and out and they had no choice but to make this work. Well, guess what? None of those were my story. I had never done network marketing. I wasn't homeless. I wasn't downtrodden. I was a person that worked a job but felt stuck because I wanted more for my life. At the time, I didn't necessarily see those examples around me. So it made me believe, and I know this is going to help somebody today. It made me believe that my story didn't matter. It made me believe nobody could relate to where I was at in my life because I didn't look like this person or sound like that person or present this way or act this way or be this way. That's what I told myself. See, nobody told me that. That's what I told me. I said, Laquail, you're not the homeless person. You don't have the kids and the baby daddy, and you've never been divorced, and you don't have all these things. Nobody's going to relate to you. But guess what? Nobody said that to me. I said it to myself. And I'm pausing in that moment because I know there's things that you've told yourself of why you're not in the space that you want to be in that nobody told you. You said it to you. Nobody else said it to you. That's what I told myself. And I said, but I see, and as I'm battling within me, I'm saying, okay, I don't have the same story other people have, but I know what I want. If they can do it, why can't I? If I don't have that story and they still did it, I don't have all those obstacles in my way and they still did it. I don't have the downtrodden story and they still did it. Why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? So I started to ask myself, okay, if you're in a better space than they were in, why is it possible for them and not possible for you? I had to start changing the conversation I had within. And so I said, okay, I get on these training calls and they say, go out and talk to people. They say sample people. They say get in your phone or send text messages. And they say all these things. Let me just try it. What's the worst that can happen? Because I know working at Macy's, standing on my feet, when I take NRG, it gives me energy. It helps me focus. It puts me in a better mood. So if that's my experience, I need to keep sharing it. If I know this did, I can't say that wrong to anybody because that's my story. I can't package or need confidence in something that I know happened. If you drank the tea and maybe you weren't going to the restroom, maybe you were constipated, maybe you were bloated and you were going through things and it worked for you, why do you not feel confident in sharing that with somebody else? I want you to ask yourself that. If your experience is what you really went through, if you know how you felt before and you know how you feel now, why are you afraid to talk about it? If you know how bloated you were and you're not bloated anymore, if you know all these things and you know what these products did, why are you not sharing them? So you have to also tap into what you know is true. Because, see, I don't have to package my story in a way to tell people what I experienced at Macy's because I may be talking to somebody that never worked at Macy's. So I can't say it wrong to them because my experience is true to me. And I can't say it wrong. I can't package it a bad way. I'm going to just share my experience. I'm not going to be concerned of what they think about it. I'm going to just share what I experienced, why I love these products, what they've done for me. You can't say the wrong thing to a person that doesn't know what you're going to say. A lot of times we overthink the conversation and we're talking to somebody that's never heard what we're about to say to them. So how can we say it wrong? I'm gonna be funny real quick. Let me look at gallery. Let me go on gallery view. Pretty sure most of us on here are women. So ladies, some of you may be married. Some of you may be in relationships. Some of you may be single. Whatever space you were in, at some point in your life, a man has approached you about connecting with him. Do you think that man went through his story to let you know why you should deal with him? That man just told you whatever he thought was good about him. If he was a provider, if he was, he just talked. He wasn't thinking about, ooh, am I going to say this wrong for her to get with me? No, I'm going to just say it. And if she get with me, she get with me. And if she don't, she don't. If she give me her number, she give me her number. If she doesn't, she doesn't. Come on, ladies. I know we all grown on here on this Sunday night. Exactly. He shot his shot. Think about that. When your son or your daughter, as a child, asked you for something, they wanted an outcome and they presented you with whatever the outcome, facts and lies, Mia. They presented you with the outcome. Think about it. Think about the most outlandish thing one of your kids has asked you for. They didn't wait until they felt like it was packaged properly. They just put it out there and they saw what you were going to do. I want y'all to think about that because I know a lot of you on here are parents. If your kids came at you with whatever they thought, and I remember going, I don't have children, but I remember coming to my mom with some things that I knew was questionable, but I still said, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So the same way the men shoot their shot, the same way the children will shoot their shot, or the grandkids will shoot their shot. We have to ask ourselves, why are we not shooting our shot? What is it that we're saying within that's making us feel like we can't move forward? Every single thing that you guys put in the comments are something that you can control. Whether it's time management, if you have a lot on your plate and you're trying to figure it out, we make room for what's important to us. The same way we'll go to the doctor when we need to. We'll get our hair done when we need it. We'll get our nails done. We'll go to the dentist. We'll do the things that are necessary. We'll go get our eyes examined. We do the things that are important to us. We make time for them, whether we got to take off work, whether we lose income. We do what's necessary based on our goals. When are you going to do what's necessary for your business based on your goals? If you want to make things happen, you got to make things happen. I'm going to say that again. If you want to make things happen, you got to make things happen. Every single thing that each of you said, you have the power to change right now. It comes with a decision. And I'm telling you that the same way I'm telling myself. Doing this business for 10 years of something that I've never done before, that I'm still learning and growing through. I'm never going to say I'm the expert. I'm still becoming every single day. I'm not the same woman I was 10 years ago. My mindset is different. My thoughts are different. My goals are different. But I still marry them to what I know is true. My life purpose is connected to me being in TLC because it gives me an outlet and an opportunity. And I don't know who needs to hear this. As women, because again, I know mostly women are on here, we have a passion for helping people. We want to be there for people. We want to whether we're whatever industry we're in, we do something that's going to contribute to someone's life. I know being a part of TLC, putting my health first, focusing on my own self-love and self-care by using these products, other people need, and I want to help other people with. I was with my mom yesterday. So, in my family, we like to hang out a little bit. I'm going to just say that. We like to get out. So, my mom called me yesterday. Her and my aunt, her sister, they were going to go out. So, she was like, okay, we're going to go out. We're going to go to the sports bar. We're going to do this. You should come. Okay, perfect. I come. My mom and my aunt, now my mom is in her 60s. My aunt is almost 70. They use the products. They wanted NutriBurst, so they had some energy for the night because they like NutriBurst for them for energy. If I had never said yes to TLC, that wouldn't have been something I would have been able to help them out with. I'm not in my 60s, I'm in my 40s. This is a product they love and will always use because I opened the door. They probably would have never heard about it, just like I would have never heard about it. But because I know that I want to help people, anything that I do or use that works for me, I'm going to spread the word. What people do with it is up to them. I'm going to continue to share the message. And I'm saying that because sometimes we want to say things in such a perfect way because we want people to receive what we're saying. But I need y'all to know you're not responsible for how when someone receives your message. You're not responsible for how someone responds. What you are responsible for is getting the word out. So if you want to wrap this around your life and you know it's worked for you, why are you not telling more people? If you go through and this is a challenge that I want y'all to do, and I think it'll really open your eyes. If you go through your social media and you look at how many times you shared reels with your friends, things that was funny to you, maybe it was relationship related, something you might not have put publicly, but you shared it privately because it was funny, or it moved you in one way or the other, whether it was laughter, whether it was emotions, whether it was spiritual, whether it was uplifting. Look at all the things that you shared with people that you saw on social media that you thought they would relate to, they could laugh with you with, they could love. If you look at all the times that you shared something like that with someone that you know, I want you to compare it to how many times you shared TLC with those same people. Because you'll send reels to your best friend all day. You'll send her 5 or 6 reels in a 10-minute time frame, whether she's seen them or not. You'll send them to your husband, to your brother, to your classmates, because we'll send things to ladies they can relate to, and we'll send things to the guys that they can relate to if we see something we believe they can connect with. What if we put that same energy in sharing the products we love and the business we love? And I'm gonna stop right there because I want to make sure I'm on the right track. How many of y'all can relate to what I'm saying? Is this something you needed to hear or you needed a reminder of? Because one thing I've noticed in my 10 years, I don't hear a lot of this. I don't hear a lot of new information. I hear a lot of the reminders that I need to keep me up on game of what I need to do. Whether you are on a training with me, whether you're on a training with Natalie, whether you're on a training with Coach Green, Coach Natalie, whether you're on a training with Anthony Powell, whether you're on the Power Hour with Mr. Lakari or the corporate staff, whether you're on Mindset Mondays with whatever speaker is speaking in that evening, I want you to think about how many times have you heard the same thing packaged different ways? You've heard a lot of the same things. We're not saying new things. But sometimes we need those reminders. Sometimes I need those reminders to know, okay, I may be overthinking it. I may be making it harder than what it is. I may be feeling like because how I feel or whatever space I'm in, that maybe people can't relate to me because I'm not feeling comfortable with myself. And for those of you at the beginning, when I asked what frequency you were and you offered a lower number, you may not feel as comfortable in your own skin right now. And it's impacting how you show up in this world. And I can tell you, I fully understand where you're coming from. There's been many days, and there's still days, that I don't always feel comfortable in my own skin. And that's when I know exactly, Vina, that's when I know my personal development has to change. I have to now look for tools that speak to the area that I need growth in this moment. Because when I look at the things that I used to tell myself many years ago, and I look at the things that I tell myself now, that was a determining factor of my success. It wasn't what my team did. It wasn't what my coach did. It wasn't what anybody else did. It was what I said to myself every day. That determined my outcome. And I'm going to say that again. It's not about what your team does. First, it's not first about what your team does. It's not about what your coach does. It's about what you do. And it's about what you say to yourself every day, because it all starts with you. The conversation you have with yourself, the way that you present yourself, the way that you show up in this world dictates all of those other things. It dictates what your coach says to you. It dictates what other people think of. All of those things are centered around you. And so I'm telling you, everything that y'all said, it starts with you. And you can make the decision right now to make a shift and a change. And I'm going to be honest, when it comes to building confidence, the best way is to just start doing the activity. I wasn't confident in telling my story until I continued to tell it. And there was times I said it and I didn't like how it sounded. And I would say, okay, I, I should have said that better. Or maybe okay, I spent too much time talking about that. Okay, maybe I would critique where I was at, but guess what? The person that I was talking to, they didn't know what I was going to say anyway. So it wasn't that they thought it was wrong. I just knew how I wanted to show up. And the only way I was able to figure that out is because I kept doing it. Repetition is the mother of all learning. We've all heard that before. If you want to get more confident in your story, keep sharing it. Don't worry about how it comes across. Don't worry about how people receive it. We have to stop caring about what people think about our message and just focus on delivering the message. That's all we have control over, is what we do and how we respond to what happens. And if you find yourself at any given moment focusing on anything that is out of your control, you're just going to spin your wheels. When you focus on what you do and how you respond to what happens, and you hone in on that, that's what's going to help you get to the next level. That's what's going to help you walk into 2026, the version of you that you desire. I have a homework assignment for you guys tomorrow. I want you to pay attention to how many things you spend energy and time on that you cannot control. And because I'm saying this, I know you're going to be more mindful as you go through your day. When you feel something, when you think about something, when you talk about something, I want you to ask yourself, is this something I really have control over? Excuse me. Or is it something I'm just spending time with? Is this something I can change? Because if it's not something I can change, but I'm talking about it, I'm sharing with people, and I'm thinking about it, now I'm taking time away from the things that I can control. I'm taking time away from sharing my story. I'm taking time away from following up with people. I'm taking time away from maybe sampling somebody. I'm taking time away from the things that I have power over because I'm spending time focusing on the things I don't. And when you realize where you are in that, feel free to message me. You don't have to put in the chat. You can message me separately and say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much time I was spending on things that I don't have control over. Or, I did pretty good. Like, I want to hear all the reports. I'm not going to assume everybody's going to have a negative report. I'm going to assume you're now going to be more self aware of how you invest your time, effort, and energy. Because when you're self aware, you can self correct. When you're self aware, you can self correct. So, this call tonight is about becoming more self aware of what we desire and where we truly are so that we can evoke change. Because we all have not arrived. I don't care. The richest person in the world has not arrived. If they're still alive, God still has a purpose for their life. Every day you wake up, God still has a purpose for your life. So if you're waking up, there's still something that God has for you to do. And you got to lock in on it. And so my next question, because I really wanted to focus on that, because I want y'all, because y'all, everybody said so many different things, but it all goes back to what you believe. And what you believe is based on what you say to yourself. See, God knows what you say to yourself and what you think. Nobody else knows. You can show up any way to your children, to your spouse, to your partner, to your friends, to your colleagues, to your coworkers. You can show up whatever way you choose. But what you internally think and what you say to yourself, only you and God know. And that dictates what really happens in your life. So when you change your belief, you change your conversation. And when you change your conversation, your thoughts become different and how you show up becomes different. So the next thing that I want to ask you, and then I'm going to bring it to a close and we'll do some Q&A, is what's one belief that's been holding you back from the consistency or confidence? What's one belief that's been holding you back from consistency or confidence? It could be fear of failure. It could be belief. It could be trust. It could be rejection. Like, this is a time to really think about it. What is that belief that's holding you back from being consistent and confident? And even I did remember someone saying they were looking for their niche. When you really understand your belief system and you really look within with who you are, how you want to show up, it'll help you decide what your niche is. Who is the person that you want to help? It may be the person you used to be. It may be the person that you were able to overcome from being. It could be the experience that you went through that you now want to go back and help women or men that go through the same experience that you went through. Fear of success, having to maintain success, rejection and not knowing my purpose, imposter syndrome. Okay. So there's an exercise that I went to, I want to say it was probably Tony Robbins. I was able to go to a Tony Robbins event many years ago. And one of the things that we did, the exercise was it's the 7 layers of the why. So for if you say fear of success and having to maintain success, why are you afraid of that? Rejection and not knowing your purpose, why are you afraid of that? When you get to honestly, when you ask yourself, when you put that initial thing and you ask yourself, okay, so why is that a challenge for me? And then you answer why that's a challenge. And then why you ask the other why, when you get to about that fourth why, you really get to the root of all of it. You really get to the root of all of it. Because what I believe is a lot of things that hold us back were things that maybe have been implanted to us when we were growing up, a belief system that we adopted from somebody else based on their own fears, based on their own lack, based on their own experience. Following leadership to another company twice. No, I saw that now. And so, Christian, I love that. And I'm going to be honest, Christian, you're not alone. In this network marketing field, a lot of people have gone from company to company, came back, did different things. The one thing that kept me solid in what I was doing, regardless of what happened, I've had companies approach me to pay for things for me, to fly me out places, to send me free products. I've been every time there's been a shift in TLC, those companies have reached out to me. Not even I mean, I'm gonna be honest. We're on a transparent Zoom. People that were in TLC that went to the other companies reached out to me. I've had the companies themselves, people that I didn't even know, reach out to me directly to offer me this and offer me that. And one thing that I had to remind myself of is I take me wherever I go. If I, whatever company I go to, I'm taking the same Laquail that's in this company to the other company. And if I want something to be different, I have to be different. The grass is not always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And so I had to ask myself a hard question. Laquail, if this is where you are, and this is the company that opened your eyes to so many things in life that you weren't necessarily privy to before this, and maybe things aren't happening in the moment the way that you want them to. Maybe you're in a valley of your business. The only thing you can control is what you do and how you respond to what happens. So, how are you going to respond to this valley? What are you going to do to change the narrative? Because you could be in a valley in this company, and if you go to another company, you're gonna work more. You're still gonna end up in the same space because you're not changing the person that's going. I got 15 wigs, y'all. You're seeing one of them today. I don't wear my red often, and I love it. No matter what wig I wear, I'm still a quail. Whether I have on a wig, whether you see my natural curls, I'm still a quail. I don't change because my hair color changes. I don't change because I wear makeup or don't. I'm still the same person. I just look different. But the core of me is still the core of me. The core of you is still the core of you. And so you have to make a decision and stay. If I'm going to stay where I'm planted, let me continue to water myself so I grow. If I'm going to stay where I'm planted, let me continue to water myself so I grow. Because sometimes we stop watering. And then when we get in a drought and we feel stuck and we feel dry, it's just because we're not giving ourselves proper water. It doesn't mean we need to go to a new garden. It just means we have to add some more water. We got to stop pouring from an empty cup. One thing that I learned 10 years ago to this day, if my business is not where I want it to be, if my life is not where I want it to be, there's some adjustments I have to make because those are the only things that I control is what I do and how I respond to what happens. So if that's what I can control, let me do that first. Now, once I do that, if things are still not moving forward, if God has not given me the green light, then okay, maybe it is time to shift gears. But generally, for the most part, once you water where you are, your grass will start to grow. Some of you guys are homeowners. You know how it is. Different seasons, your grass gets dry and turns brown. And when you change up that fertilizer a little bit, you do a little bit more self care, a little bit more love, pay more attention to it, make it a focus and a priority, the grass starts to grow again. Think about how many of y'all, I talked about wigs. Think about how many of us have been on a hair growth journey. Wait, let me, before, if you've been on a hair growth or a skin journey in some capacity, drop a one in the comments. If you did anything to better your hair or your skin in your life, I want you to think about this. Whenever you were on that hair or skin journey, when you paid more attention to it and you were more intentional of what you did on a regular basis, did your hair grow and did your skin improve? When you paid more attention and you were more intentional, did your hair grow and your skin improve? That should tell you right there. Sometimes all we need to do is be more intentional and pay attention to the things that we want to happen. And we can change the direction of how things go. And so, whenever I have an opportunity to share with you, and there's not something, we talked about the Taste and Talk Live last week, and you're going to listen, you're going to be on trainings, you're going to hear about TikTok, you're going to hear about team building, all of those things matter. But what matters most is what happens in here. Because if you don't have the right mindset, if you're not thinking properly, if you're not being intentional, if you're not nurturing and watering the things that you want to grow, it doesn't matter all of the skills. You can know all the things to do, but if you don't have the motivation inside, if you're not self-motivated, if you don't have the determination, if you don't have the belief, if you don't have the trust in yourself and what's possible, it doesn't matter the skills that you learn, you're not going to do them. Anybody on here that has had traction in their business that didn't have traction before, the only difference was they started doing the work. When I didn't have the things that I wanted, once I became intentional, once I started watering what I wanted to grow, and I was focused on those things, everything changed. So I want you guys to know there's no new information that you need to hear. It's saying to yourself, I've already been given the information that works. I've already been given the tools that'll take me to the next level. And sometimes those tools are not flashy tools. Those aren't tools that is like, wow. It's not always the things that look fancy and look amazing and make the most noise, but they're what matters. The work always works. The work always works. And sometimes we don't want to do the things if they don't seem flashy, if they don't seem, if they're not recognized on a big scale, then we feel like we're not doing the right things. And so the last thing I'm going to say is you want to make sure that you celebrate your small victories. Celebrate your small victories. What are the things that you do or that you've done this last week that you're proud of? Maybe you sampled somebody and you haven't sampled anybody. Maybe you went live and you never go live, or you posted a picture and you're not comfortable posting pictures. Celebrate your small victories and you will attract things that you want to celebrate. And so I really felt on this Sunday, as we continue to get closer to a brand new year, I don't know about y'all, but the closer a new year gets for me, I really look at my life. I really look at my goals. I really look at the things that I've accomplished so far and the things that I want to do. Because in order for me to really have a new year, every time I got to become a new me. January 1st is not going to change for anybody if we're not different people. Saying Happy New Year is a word. What you do now is the action. And so I want you to take some time, like I shared, and I want you to look at what are the things that you're spending time on that you have no control over. I'm going to say it again. I want y'all tomorrow, as you go throughout your day, I want you to really pay attention. What are the things that I'm thinking about, talking about, and giving energy to that I have no control over? Because they're taking me away from the things I do have control over. They're taking me away from the things I can do if I'm focused on all the things I can't do. And when you do that, like I said, being self aware, you can self correct because a lot of those things you'll start to realize impacts your confidence, impacts your time management, impacts how you show up, impacts how you share your story. All of those things that you're concerned with that you have no control over impacts how you show up in the world. And I have somebody, I discovered this lady, and some of y'all might know her. I don't know her. She's new to me. A lady I discovered on YouTube. I'm going to drop some videos in the chat. She's been getting me all the way together. See, sometimes your mentor or coach doesn't have to be somebody you know. Eric Thomas has been my mentor coach virtually for many years and still is. Mel Robbins, too. Again, I've had the luxury, privilege, and honor to meet both of them, but they were still my coaches and mentors before that ever happened. So you don't have to have a coach or mentor that you talk to every day or that knows who you are. You just have to align with what they're teaching and what they're speaking to that will help you elevate and grow because you know where you are in your life. We're on these trainings and everybody's going to share what they're comfortable sharing. Let's keep it 100. Everybody shares what they're comfortable sharing. So each of things that you guys said, there's still one or two things that's deeper than what you shared that you wouldn't speak about publicly, and you shouldn't. It's okay. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying acknowledge those things and find that personal development tool that's going to speak to the areas of growth that you need. Because I can tell you what works for me, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So tonight, the DMV had an amazing event. There's some other events coming up. Make sure that you connect on the tasteandtalktour.com so you know what's going on, so you can promote, so you can invite, and if you're able to, you can attend. Make sure that you set up your party link because remember, the party link is the thing with the party link that's different than your regular website is now the party link is going to track your sales for 7 days to be able to give you rewards. So if you know you're going to go live, if you know that you're going to do and listen, I would challenge you guys, go on there's a Telegram group with a lot of excited people. Connect with people in the group who post messages in the group and you love their energy. Reach out to them and say, hey, can we go live together? Or let's connect with one of the coaches. Let's do a Zoom together. Or what city are you in? Let's be accountability partners. Y'all, Garina's been my accountability partner since she started TLC. We connected in a major way. I live in Atlanta. She lives in DMV. When I started this business, I lived in Miami. We don't live in the same city, but that's still my accountability partner. That's still someone that I can reach out to bounce ideas off of. So don't be so caught up in feeling like the person that you feel connected has to live in your city. Together we can achieve so much more. So Antonique dropped the link. November 9th is the next event in ATL. Tasteandtalktour.com. Promote, invite, and come. And listen, I know everybody knows somebody in Atlanta or Georgia. We all know people in the cities. So don't feel like because you're not there, and we'll share the template that's available so that you're going to be able, once it's available, we'll share a template where you can put your picture and you can invite and promote. Definitely me, but we all know other people too. Okay, everybody knows somebody in Atlanta. So before we go, does anybody have any questions? If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, you can raise your Zoom hand or you can unmute yourself. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? And I will share this for anybody that's new to TLC or that's coming back to TLC. We get paid to move products. If you're new, I would suggest to use your products and share with people your experience in person and virtually. Invite people on the journey with you as you reacclimating yourself with the products, getting started for the first time, sharing what your goals are. That's going to help hold you accountable and it's going to invite people to watch your journey. Think about the people that you follow that are on some type of life journey, whether it's a health journey, whether it's a financial transformation, maybe they started a new job, maybe they're a new mom. You follow their journey because they show you what they experience on a regular basis. You can do that same thing for other people, just like the people that you follow that do that for you.
Hey, Laquail.
Yes.
Hey, how are you? It's Tanisha.
Hey. Hey,
How are you?
I'm amazing.
And that you are. That you are. I just
Oh,
want to
thank
say
you.
something real quick. Thank you, first of all, for this message. Before we got on the call, I was on the phone with, well, we were texting. Um,
Hmm.
Amazing confidence coach, Vina.
Hmm.
Before we got on here, and she texted me and she said, "How's your spirit today?" You know,
Hmm.
and she knows I've been going through a lot. I was in a bad car accident back in June on my birthday, 24th.
Mm.
I have a rod in my leg. I have 6 cracked ribs, a cracked skull.
Wow.
So life has been lifing, or whatnot. And you said something that just kind of resonated along with what she said to me as well. um the thing that you used about the guys, when they don't think about it, you know what I mean, they just spit it out there or whatnot. So I wanted to just say thank you for that, and the same thing that my coach had told me as well, or whatnot. And even though life be lifing, it's all about the stinky thinking that we have in our head, or whatnot. And it comes fast, it comes hard, it comes soon as you wake up in the morning, or whatnot. And so a lot of stuff that I have been, I'm dealing with, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I cannot dwell on that. I'm able to get up in the mornings. I haven't even had any physical therapy yet, but I'm able to walk, and God is amazing.
Praise
So
God.
everybody on here. I left TLC, but my coach stayed. Coach Vina stayed, with TLC, and when she got back from Detroit from the frequency, she called me up, and I think she probably said about 9 things, and I was like, what I need to do.
Right.
But not because I was already like, okay, I need to get back. I need my vitamins. I need
Yeah.
everything back. So again, thank you, Laquel. Thank you, Coach Vina, for staying and your amazing yes.
You're welcome. I love that. Guys, I'm telling you, most decisions that we make when it comes, especially to business, are usually not business related. There's something else that's going on, whether it's personal, whether it's internal, whether it's external. And that's why I really encourage everybody to really look at what are the things that you're allowing to occupy your mental space that you have no control over. Sometimes we get in bondage about things that people did or didn't do in regards to us, and we can't control what people do or don't do. And and I'm not saying you specifically, I just know what I've heard over the years of decisions where people left TLC or took a break or whatever have you, is generally something that happened personally that wasn't business related specifically. It was something, a way that somebody made you feel or didn't make you feel or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you choose how you feel about things, because again, you can only control what you do and how you respond to what happens. And we all go through things. Everybody on this call is 33 people on it. Every single person on this call is going through something. Everybody's going through something, whether we talk about it or not. We all go through things. Life is life, and is that phrase that is always happened, but we now have a phrase for it. Life been life, and since We was kids. We just didn't know how to say life is lifing. We just said something else. If it ain't one thing, it's another. If we've all said the things, the end result is there's always going to be something. What we do with that something determines whether we succeed or we stay stuck. We can never prevent life situations from taking place. We can't stop that. There's always going to be things that happens that we expect and we don't expect. What we do with those things determines where we really go. And one thing that helped me years ago is when I realized when things really came at me from different levels or at all sides at once, I knew then God was testing me to see if I was ready for the place He was taking me next. Because if I can't deal with this now, I'm not ready for my next. And when you really take home to that and understand, okay, I'm going through all this. There's got to be a reason. Like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. God, there's got to be something. You must be making sure I'm prepared for the next level that you have me or that you have for me. And if I'm not prepared, you're not going to give it to me yet. So you're testing me now to see if I'm ready for that. And if I'm not ready, I'm just going to delay the blessings that you have for me. And so that would help me in those moments where I felt desperate, when I felt in despair. I would say then, okay, this got to be a test. Like, this is crazy. This got to be a test. Okay, God, I understand. I understand. Let me just keep trusting you because I know if you woke me up, you still have a reason for me to be here. And sometimes it don't feel like it all the time. But if I'm here, there's a reason I'm here. So let me make sure that I'm prepared to say, okay, I trust you, God, for whatever you have for me, whether I understand it or not, because I know you're preparing me for something on the other side that's way greater than I can even imagine. Guys, I'm going to share this. I know we're a little past the time, but I'm going to share this. When I was, before I joined TLC, I was living in Atlanta before I even moved to Miami. And I remember I used to have dreams of going to Miami. I had never been to Miami before. I didn't know where the dreams came from. And I was in my 20s. So I really didn't, it didn't, I was like, what? I just thought I was having dreams. I started working in fragrance for a company that then took me to Miami. When I moved to Miami, I met Natalie and I started TLC. I didn't know when I had those dreams years before it was preparing me for something I had no idea about. There's things that are going on in your life right now that are preparing you for something you don't even know about. And so the way that you view what's happening in your life shows God if you're ready for that next thing. So I want you to take some time. If you're going through a storm right now and you can't see yourself clear of it, I want you to really sit and think. I'll say, okay, God, show me what it is that I'm supposed to see from this, because I know there's a purpose. There's a purpose behind all of this. Show me what that is. And if you don't show me, at least push me to continue to trust you so that I can move forward. So I don't stay stuck in this space because I don't understand it or it doesn't make sense or I don't know where it's coming from. So I don't know who needed to hear that. I'm telling you, I take this time of the year very seriously when it comes to the new year approaching, because I know there's a the end of the year does a lot of things. There's going to be purging. You're going to start seeing people for who they are, things for what they are, people that need to move. You're going to start seeing the things that don't need to come with you in 2026, because everybody's not meant to go with you where you're going. People are here for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. There's different time frames. Everybody that you was rocking with, what you was 10, don't mean they supposed to go with you until you 50. This is the time a lot of things are going to be revealed to you over the next 60, 70 days, and you got to pay attention. And you know, for what you're going, what you desire, where you're taking your life, where you're going with your family, what's supposed to be here, what's supposed to stay in 2025. So pay attention to those things. Don't ignore the flags. Don't ignore the situations. Don't ignore the circumstances. Pay attention. And God will show you the things that are supposed to advance with you and the things that are supposed to stay behind and things that you're supposed to let go of. Because when that rocket takes off, you can't have a whole lot of things holding that rocket down or it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. So I know I seen Vina say, Vina, you said you want to close out in prayer.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
All right, y'all. It doesn't. I don't see. I didn't see any more raised hands. I love you guys. I want to respect our time, so I want to let Vina jump on so that she can close us out in prayer. I trust Vina. I know she gonna make sure the Lord is with us.
Yes, the spirit,
So,
not me. This is all God. So Heavenly Father, we just come to you right now humbly in your presence. And first and foremost, we want to thank you for an opportunity of life. Thank you for an opportunity tonight to be able to speak with one another, to be able to listen and learn, Lord. We thank you for Laquail's message today and being used by the Spirit, Lord. And I just ask that everyone on this call open their hearts to receive this information, to receive the message, and more than anything, Lord, to receive what you created us for. You carefully created each of us. We were not mistakes. We are a creation that you thoughtfully designed, God. So today, Lord, I just ask, and moving forward for the rest of the week, that each and every one of us can see ourselves the way that you see us. Show us how we can take parts and plans that you're preparing us for, even the things that we don't see ourselves. As Laquel said, Lord, if we don't have the belief, Lord, we can borrow the belief from someone else, borrowing the belief from scripture, borrowing the belief from the whispers of the Holy Spirit that live within us. We thank you for knowing exactly what we're facing in this time in our lives, the things that we can't speak aloud, the things that are mumbles and moans and groans in the nighttime, Lord. You hear us and you understand our challenges, Lord. So we're thankful and we're grateful for the love. We're thankful for your strength. We need it. We are relying on you. Help us to continue to receive your strength. And Lord, I just want to pray against all of the distractions of the enemy for all of these ladies and maybe gentlemen on this call. We know that the true joy and satisfaction can only be found in you, the giver of life, Lord. So help us as we face these daily attacks that come on our time, our attention, our business, our mindset, our hearts, our motivation, our finances, our health, of the things, Lord. Empty our lives of anything, any law, any lies, any false insecurities, anything that the enemy speaks over us. So, Lord, we just thank you for the endurance. And as your word says in James, that to consider it great joy. Every opportunity of struggle that we have is a great joy because it's an opportunity that you give us to grow so that your work can be completed in us, Lord. So I just pray over our weeks. We already receive it in the name of Jesus, Lord. Amen.
amen. Listen, guys, this is an opportunity each of us has to start anew. Whatever's happened before today is over. If you focus on the past, it can bring depression. When you focus on the future, it can bring anxiety. Let's stay present in the moment and make a decision that everything that happens from this day forward is going to be going towards all of the things that we truly desire. We're releasing anything from the past that no longer serves us. We're releasing relationships, mindsets, and beliefs that no longer serve us into our next level of us. And we're going to continue to see God's face for Him to show us all of the things that He has for us, the people, the connections, the beliefs, all of those things. And I love you guys. We'll be available in the chat throughout the week. Let's knock things out the park this week, y'all. Tuesday is going to be a deal. Mindset Monday, we'll have training. Wednesday, we'll have the mindset training with Anthony Powell. Like, let's stay plugged in. Let's stay connected. Let's get on our phones and continue to share with people this amazing business and these products. Each of us are here because somebody shared it with us, and it's our job to pay it forward. All right. So I love you guys. Have an amazing night. I'll see y'all in the chat.